Well, gang, welcome back. Again, it's Will Weibert with the Get Fit podcast, coming to you live from downtown Sedalia. I'm here with my good friend Chris and Sandra Fisher. They're the owners of the meal prep company called SC Fuel. If you guys haven't had it yet, you guys need to give it a try. Today we're going to talk a little bit about nutrition and why it's important to really have your diet plan in place, and why meal prepping is so important. So I'd like to introduce Chris Fisher and Sandra Fisher. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Chris.
Well, I've been in Sedalia for about 6 years now.
2015.
Right. We started the business going on 5 years now. We've been in business for about 5 years, and we love what we do, and she's the expert.
She's
so
the expert?
I call myself a glorified cashier.
That's good.
We've been involved with, when Sandra and I met, we've both been involved in fitness and nutrition, and been interested in that type of stuff our whole lives. But I'm originally from Oklahoma, but got here through Kansas City and then met Sandra and ended up in Sedalia.
Very good. Well, good place to be, and that's where I met you guys the first time, is at the gym.
Yeah.
So that's where our friendship started. And Sandra, what about you?
I've lived in the area all my life. I grew up in Lincoln. I taught a school in Lincoln, and I finished my teaching career in Sedalia. Taught for almost 20 years. I think I had 18. Met him in 2015. I'd already gotten into bodybuilding. Three of my boys. I'd already done one competition, and I was a runner before that. So fitness, nutrition always was somewhat important to me, I guess. And then met him in 2015, and then went a year teaching, and then in 2016, him and I decided to do a competition together.
Okay, yeah.
And that's when I started teaching in Sedalia in 2016. And I was prepping, and I've always worked with a coach. I've worked with a coach since 2014, and I learned a lot with them in the nutrition side. And I was also going through more education than I know what to do with. And at that time, I was actually finishing my master's in fitness management.
Okay.
And in fitness management, you had to learn the nutrition side as well as like managing a fitness center, or so on and so forth. So I got more interested in that. But in 2016, during my prep, it was always a joke, because when I would go to work with my coach, she would always be like, "What do you have? Like, what do you have in your container?" Because I take my meals with me. And I'd be like, "Well, I took my chicken and made this, and this, instead of just eating the chicken and rice like plain."
Yeah.
And she always joked with me. She's like, "You need to start a meal prepping." Like, for real. And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." But then in 2016, when I was prepping, I met new people at Sedalia, and they were like, "Can you help me?" So it started out me kind of coaching people, and I took on some clients, and it was just for weight loss. I wasn't competing primarily. And then they were like, "Hey, you prep your food. How much would you charge me to prep my food?" So I was like, "Oh, I don't know." So then it was one person I started cooking for. And then it was another person, and then they told somebody, and then before you knew it, we had, every weekend I was prepping for, I don't know, I think the last prep we did out of my home was in March 2017, and I did about 700 meals.
Oh wow, okay.
Out of my house. But by that time, we had already rented this building, and we weren't married at the time. So the business was in my name, but that's when I became incorporated, I became an
LLC. Okay.
And we threw around names, like what exactly to call it, and if people don't know, they're always like, some people have a joke that it's Smith Cotton.
No.
No. And we wanted to play on words.
Okay.
So SC means simple, clean, and fuel, food is your fuel.
Mhm.
So it's simple, clean food. And I always like to stress to people, there's no such thing as truly clean food, but clean means that it's not processed.
Right. Okay, okay.
You want to get it from
Whole ingredients.
Yeah.
whole ingredients, and when we say clean and simple, I try to take the simplest things and make them taste good.
Absolutely.
Because I don't, a lot of people think when you have to go on a diet or that you have to eat blandly, and you really don't. And you also, people also need to understand that, I like for people to understand, I hate the word diet.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think of diet as what you eat all the time.
Absolutely.
Or a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't put yourself on a diet.
Yes. Diet essentially is what what you consistently eat.
Yes.
That's it. And one thing that you mentioned, and I stress the point, but it's fuel. Fuel for your body. You're going to get out of your body what you put into your body.
Yes.
You fill it with junk. You fill it with soda, candy, whatever the case is. That's what you're going to get out of it.
Yes.
But if you fill it with clean food that actually gives you protein, has proteins, the right amount of carbs, it's healthy for you, you're gonna just feel better.
That's right.
Not necessarily look better.
That's right.
Your performance is going to be better.
That's right.
And you also said something maybe our listeners don't understand when we say prep. We always say meal prep, prep. And
Mhm.
all it is preparation.
Yes.
You're planning it out, and you're getting your week or whatever planned out. I think on anybody's fitness journey, I would say the hardest thing is consistently sticking on a good diet.
Yes, it is. We're guilty of it too. You fall off, but we've also, and everybody's human,
Mhm.
and we don't expect everybody to stay completely on it. But we've just learned that. We always wanted to build our company locally.
Yeah,
right.
We got tired of it too, because for someone to go home, like I can cook here, we cook in massive amounts.
Mm-hmm.
At home, if you want to do 5 pounds of chicken, you can't make it 6 different ways.
Mhm.
You make it
Right.
all one way, and then by the end of the week, you're tired.
Yeah, you're tired of eating the same thing. Absolutely.
Then that's when you fall off.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to say, I'm too busy, I don't have the time.
Absolutely.
It's too expensive to eat healthy, which, and I don't want to say those are all excuses. People are very busy.
Mm-hmm.
And people think, you talked about diet, people think if they are going to change their habits and eat healthier and lose weight, if that's what they want to do, then they have to go on a diet.
Yeah.
They don't realize that you can make small changes
Mhm.
and still get the same or better results.
Absolutely. And what I like about SC Fuel is when you're talking about how busy we are, we do get busy, and I do find myself, like this morning, I didn't pack lunch. And that's my own fault. So if I get hungry and I have to go from a meeting to a meeting, I'm going to swing through a fast food joint.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to get any nutritional fat.
Right.
I could have X meal with fries and a soda. And if you look at the calorie content in those things, sometimes you're upward 1,200 calories.
Yes.
And if my ultimate goal is, of course, my goal is to maintain my muscle mass, but to lose fat.
Mhm.
So I've got to keep, the calories are going to be important to me,
Mhm.
but also the proteins.
Right.
The proteins
Right. Absolutely.
keep my muscle mass. So let's talk about macros. So macros, maybe you can explain better what a macro is, what I, because we hear that term all the time, and I didn't know what it even meant. They say, you got to watch your macros. Okay, great. I had no idea what a macro
Right.
was.
Right.
Macros are essentially 3 important ingredients to and if you look on labels, they're all there. But it's your proteins, your fats, and your carbs.
Okay, protein, fats, carbs.
Proteins,
Okay.
fats, carbs. There is actually a 4th one, and it's alcohol. But every gram of protein gives you 4 calories.
Okay.
Every gram of a carb gives you 4 calories.
Okay.
Every gram of fat gives you 9 calories.
Okay.
And alcohol is kind of separate to itself, and every gram of alcohol gives you 7 calories. So for people who like to sneak in wine and things like that, it is separate to itself.
Yeah. And you gotta watch that.
Yes.
You do.
Yeah. It's not free.
And you think of macros as those are the 3 things you need for your body to run
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah.
So like you take carbs away, you're going to notice that your body needs carbs for your brain, your physical activity, those type of things. So those are the macronutrients of what your body needs to, when it needs to fuel your body to function.
And I heard, you know, a lot of the time we always think, oh man, fats are bad for you. You don't want fats. However, fats aren't bad for you in moderation. Am I right?
It's, again, nothing is inherently bad for you. It's all about a portion. And you have to portion them out. And I like to talk a lot about the women, the female side, because we females are inherently bad about going on a diet and we want to cut something out. Women will fall, and especially a mid-range age female from 25 to say 40, will can really mess their hormones up and cause issues with weight gain, being stuck, not being able to do something, because fats and carbs are really important, and fats especially. And it's really tough, like when I do or am in a store and like a female will come in, I want to sit there and talk to them forever about like doing elimination diets. I hate them. I just wish people could feel so much better if you balance your macros out. And there's no secret recipe to this. I mean, there's no, you just kind of have to, you know, some people will say, oh, I gotta have, you know, 50 to 60% of my diet is protein. No, you don't. I mean,
Everybody's different.
everybody's different.
Depending on what their goal is. You
Exactly.
know? Like Chris and I's goal will be a little bit different.
Right.
Yeah,
compared
the
to-
guys are totally different.
Yeah.
But then again, it depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
And then, so back to the macros. So your fats, your carbs, and your protein, you add all of that up for calories, and you multiply by 4 or 9, and that's how you get your calories from meal. Nothing else goes to the calorie content of any label that you ever find. There's also another macronutrient. Fiber is a big thing.
Fiber, yeah, absolutely.
It's not counted towards your calorie content, but manufacturers are tricky with, we've all heard the term net carbs.
Net carbs, absolutely.
A carb is a carb.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's, the net carb was started, for everybody wants to know, I'm not making it up, look it up on the internet. It was termed by Weight Watchers.
Okay.
It came along with around the time of Weight Watchers, and you'll find all these fad diets that come through, keto diets, and there's juice cleanses and everything like that. But keto is still very much a slang term or popular term. But Weight Watchers started the net carb, and net carbs are nothing more than taking the fiber contents and they subtract the carbs. So if there's 10 grams of fiber in something, they say if you have 20 carbs, you can take 10 carbs off. At the end of the day, you're still eating 80 calories worth of carbs.
Absolutely.
Yes, you're getting the fiber content, but fiber is a macro, or a micro, excuse me. Micronutrients have no caloric intake to your diet.
Okay.
But micronutrients are sodium, vitamin C, vitamin B, anything that's found in like vegetables, things like that. So people always say, I want something low carb. I'm like, again, for your people that are listening, and females who come in and say, well, I need low carb. A low carb meal, so like this is for example, Incredible Hulk. So it has 47 carbs in it, and it's 38 proteins, 47 carbs, 12 fats. Most women cringe at it because it's almost 500 calories.
Yeah.
If you go and run through McDonald's, you get a small cheeseburger, a small fry, and you think I'm doing really good, you're eating probably around 12 to 1,500
Yeah, absolutely. And it's ridiculous. It's crazy.
And you're probably more on the side of 12 proteins, 47 grams of fats, and the carbs. Like, so on this, like, you can't say, oh, I get to subtract because there's fiber in something.
Right.
You can't. It's just not possible.
Absolutely. All right, now we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about one of my favorite SC fuel meals. It's called the Incredible Hulk. If you look at it here, this is this is a meal.
Yeah,
This
it's a lot of food.
It is a lot of food. So Sandra, I'm looking at the macro content. And there's always right here on the very front of the meal here. So macros. This has 38 grams of protein, 47 carbs, 12 grams of fiber, and there's 448 calories in this. So 448 calories. You know, if you think about it, my caloric intake in a day needs to be around, if I'm with the goal of losing weight, to be right around 2,000 to 2,500. So I try to be about 225 calories a day. So with this only having essentially 450 calories in it, you know, I can stand to eat, what, almost 6 of these a day?
I mean, yeah, if you take 5, I mean, that would be 3 times, what'd you say, 6 of these a day? So 6 times 5, I mean, that's 3,000. But I mean, you would be essentially eating, so 6 times 6, 36,
You probably didn't know how to do math today, did you?
I know. I mean, you're going to eat well up on, I got to do a little math, so 6 times 6 is 36, there's 16 ounces, so 10, 20, 30. I mean, you're going to eat like 2 pounds of meat. I mean, so if you can eat 2 pounds of meat every single day, kudos to you.
Yeah.
But most people can't do
Right.
that. Like, especially a female can't do that or doesn't want to. But we have a lot of guys that have come in our store when they first started, and one of the first things that a wife will come in and go, my husband, he would have to have like 10 of these a day. It would never fill him up. I'm like, just try it. Like, try it first and then tell us. Because, you know, macros are important, but Americans have a tendency to overeat, but we also tend to take, do you remember the diet years ago where it was just get a 9-inch plate and make your plate smaller and then go off your portions? Well,
Yeah, I do remember that, yeah.
okay, it's actually not that silly of a thought, because these give your mind, they kind of play tricks on you in the sense of once your container's empty, if you take your time and think about eating, you're full. But we have a tendency, and we were taught from a very young age, clean the plate. So if you can get past that mentality, for one thing, but again, how many times have you been to McDonald's? Do you just go, oh, I can't eat the rest of this?
No, if it's in front of me, I eat it.
Yeah.
Same thing like, you know, if I get like a cereal kick, you know, if I put it in a small bowl, that's okay. But usually what I do is find the biggest bowl, and I'm still the same sort of satisfied.
Chris is off camera, but
That's him too. Maybe it's a guy thing, Chris.
And I mean, I've learned, I love cereal, and cereal is not, again, it's not necessarily bad for you. A trick for your listeners too, trying to get protein in as a female, I drink milk. I use a protein shake as my milk. So you're essentially getting a protein shake with your cereal, so you're having a balance of.
Yeah, you're getting some protein in.
But I eat them out of coffee cups. I eat my cereal out of coffee cups.
Okay.
So the coffee cup I'll pick is a serving, but it's very full. So it's like, man, I'm getting a whole can. Instead of putting it in a big bowl, and then you're like, oh.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that goes through that.
Yeah,
so with this here, we'll talk about what is all in the ingredients and what the yellow stuff is, and without giving any trade secrets away, guys.
No trade secrets. The base, of course, is rice. I did about a year or so ago, and in some of my research, I did a lot of research when I first started, trying to find the best things for certain health purposes. We used to use jasmine rice, and in cooking jasmine rice, we also found it to be very, very sticky, and it didn't hold up very well in the sense of when we cook in our big cookers. Towards the bottom of it, it gets sticky, and then it just didn't look good. So I started doing research, and we actually found that basmati rice. It's not a sticky rice, so it wouldn't be found in things like sushi. It's different. But it's actually lower on what's called the glycemic index. The glycemic index just means that it does not spike your insulin as bad as another carb would. And so like when people are diabetic, they say, are these diabetic friendly? Yes, they are, because you don't put sugars on there, but in the idea of macros, carbs are essentially your sugars. They're not a straight sugar like you think, but in the terms of a diabetic being worried about what they can or cannot have. There used to be a thing that says, everything white is bad for you. That's not true. Again, for a diabetic, it's important, if you do have white rice, add a vegetable and it'll keep your blood sugar lower. And if you don't get crazy with your diet throughout the day, you won't have those insulin spikes if you eat evenly. But and then again, so it's rice. We cook with 93.7 ground beef.
Okay.
It's got the lowest fat content. The only next step up would be 94.6, and people probably wouldn't want to pay for 94.6 because you go in the store, 93.7 is like almost $7 per pound. So, and there's no trade secret. The Hulk, as a favorite, my mom, a favorite thing that we used to eat was barbecue sauce and ketchup and mustard on our hamburgers. We do a mix of ketchup and mustard. We mix it, and I don't know why, but it just tastes different.
It absolutely does.
It tastes different than just putting ketchup and mustard separately. So,
Well, I didn't know that's all it was. I thought it was, it was always something different. That's pretty neat.
And again, I don't know if it's just because we mix, but if you tell somebody and they're like, ew, but gotta try it.
It's really good.
It's pretty darn good. And before I forget, I started the SC Fuel. Play on words. It really does mean Sandra, Chris, and then the F is for Fisher.
Okay.
We took our names and we said, okay, what can we make with SCF? And so that's it. And we weren't even married when we did it, but.
Well, I always, Simple Clean is what I seen you do a cooking demonstration one time for Healthy You.
Yes.
And it made sense when you said SC, Simple Clean Food.
Yeah.
And gang, that's all this is. It's simple, clean food. It's rice, it's a lean hamburger, it's, American-made mustard, ketchup, and barbecue sauce, but it's what it is. It's portioned out, it's cooked, it's ready to go, it's convenient. So do me a favor. You guys have 2 locations.
Yes.
We have a location on 16th Street there.
3210 West 16th. It's right across from the college, right beside Peak Performance.
Okay. And then the other one is also in Warrensburg. You guys have a location downtown Warrensburg.
It's 109 North Holden. So it's Pine Street ends, and Holden runs this way. We're right on the corner by UMB Bank.
So come on in. You always have a professional staff there that's willing to answer any questions that anybody may have on the what's in the food and some diet ideas. So do me a favor, just come down and just try it, or at least come down and talk to somebody down on staff. Ask any question that you may have, but I promise you guys, if you just stick to simple, stick to clean fuel, your diet and your health journey is going to be a lot better. So in the next podcast we're going to do, Chris and I are going to be down at the Warrensburg location, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about some of the supplementation that can go along with your diet to help you out with your weight loss journey. So
he's the pro on that.
He's a pro on that. So Sandra, thank you, for letting us do this. I know our listeners and our watchers here, they're starting to get very interested in some of these topics that we're doing. And really, if your goal is to get fit, lose weight, 80% of it is diet.
And even if it's not, I can't explain to you enough. If you have elderly parents, if you go to church, we have a ton of single people, older people, like widowed people. They won't cook for themselves, so it's very convenient for them to come in beginning of the week. They buy a week's worth. They freeze well as well. We have seriously, we have a lot of 40, 50 something that have elderly parents. They come in, they help them buy their food for the week. So it's great, and at any given time we have about 25 different meal options.
Do you?
Yep.
How many, this is something I've always wondered, how many meals in a week do you guys prep?
Right now we're averaging about 3,000 meals.
3,000 meals a day, or a week?
A week. We cook, like I told you before, 5 days a week for sure. Sometimes Saturday and Sunday, it just kind of depends. So.
One thing that I do too, if you look down here, it has best use by date, but stick in the freezer.
Yes.
That's my freezer. That's what we do. We usually every Monday or Tuesday morning we get my son and I, we make our list of what we need. Take out what we're going to eat within the next few days. The other one we just put in the freezer.
And they will last in the fridge until that date. But some people will come by and we're always amazed and they'll throw them all in the freezer. And we've always had great reviews on that. You know, they freeze well, they thaw well, and so that's our best suggestion. And keep on trying. I mean, like, I don't even know what cooking is outside this.
Yeah.
We just eat these. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
But the idea with, of course, come down here to SC Fuel, get your meals here. If not, if you want to do it at home, the idea is still the same.
Yep, it's still the same. I mean, it's just get your scale, portion of it. And the amazing thing is, once you start eating something that's portioned out, or you start portioning it out, you will learn quickly, like, what it's like to eat what you're supposed to
eat, yeah.
And not overeat. And another thing that I kind of talk to people, you need to learn what it feels like to be satisfied versus being full. And we kind of, to Americans and our society, want to be full.
Yeah.
But that's when we talked about, like, what you do to your body is what your body will do for you. So if you go eat a bunch of fast food or eat too much a big meal during the day, guess what? You're gonna go back to the office and go.
You're gonna be lethargic, and you want to take a nap.
So it all goes to that. So.
And I did an experiment one time because I looked at this thing one time and I was like, there's got to be more than 448 calories in this. So I have an app on my phone, it's like a carb manager app, and I put every single ingredient that you have in here, and it was right at 448 calories.
Yep.
So for this is a heck of a meal to have. There's shrimp. You guys have chicken. You even have salads. You have taco bowls. You have enchiladas.
Yep.
What are some of the other ones that are good sellers here?
Well, we have several different burger bowls. We do a cowboy beef, and some people don't like it. We try to do some potatoes.
Okay.
Because people don't like the rice. But again, white's not bad for you.
Right.
Potatoes. We do cowboy beef. We have a cowgirl chicken now, and that's potatoes and green beans. Our green beans, I don't know.
How many protein balls do you guys get rid of in a week?
Well,
'Cause I know I do 16.
We did have, and we're behind right now because it seems like everybody's 10 batches. I'm looking over at Dennis. We did like 10 batches yesterday, so that's approximately like 400 balls itself. So if you take that, I mean,
That's a lot.
it's a lot. And for anybody, the protein ball recipes, I made them. A lot of trial and error. And anytime you guys eat the protein balls, please eat them and know they were rolled with love. Everything's done by hand.
Absolutely.
We mix all the batter by hand. It's a recipe. I tried, when I first started, we bought this huge mixer, and we thought we could do it like cookie dough batter.
No.
No, it has to be done by hand.
By hand.
Yep. And each little one is weighed specifically for the macros and rolled by hand and asked them.
I know, I seen him over there. That's what he's spending his time on today. All right, again, Sandra and Chris, thanks for talking to me a little bit today about your guys' business and some information about nutrition and macros. Again, I can't stress enough, if you guys have any questions, comment the link below. We'll make sure to ask Chris and Sandra, but also just stop at one of the locations. They'll be happy to help you guys out. So again, thank you very much for your time today.
Appreciate it.
You'll see me here a little bit at the Warrensburg location store with Chris.